the top 5 things that you should focus on, or as I like to call, the golden pyramid of fat loss.
Unleash the power of the pyramid.
What is up, guys? Austin here, and welcome to another video. And today I'm going to be going over the top 5 things that you should focus on, or as I like to call, the golden pyramid of fat loss. Much like the food pyramid, you have a pyramid with different levels, and you want to focus mainly on the ones at the base because you want to have a strong foundation, and these are definitely the thing that is going to give you the most results rather than focusing at things on the top. Don't get me wrong, all of these things are important, but definitely focusing on your bases and building that solid foundation and making sure that you nail the basic things before moving up on the chain here. And so I'm going to flash this quick infographic that I made on Instagram. Don't forget to follow me there, Austin C Fitness. For daily Instagram posts, I post twice a day. Very informative posts. I put a lot of time into those captions, so definitely read them. Don't just look at the pictures. I know it's easy to get caught up and look at all the pretty pictures, but definitely read the captions. You can definitely learn a lot. And I try to put as much quality and accurate information in there as I can. And of course, shoot me any DMs, leave any comments, or let me know if you have any questions or concerns on fitness, nutrition, and training, or anything at all. Without further ado, let's get into level 1. And so level 1, if you don't know by now, it's establishing a calorie deficit, because this is the only way to lose weight. No one is out here breaking the laws of thermodynamics. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose weight, you're not going to lose fat. It doesn't matter what you're eating. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you won't lose weight. Even if you applied all these other tips on this pyramid, if you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose weight. It doesn't matter if you agree with me or not. That's just the way things are, and if you don't follow them, then you won't get your results. Easy as that. And a quick tip on how to establish a calorie deficit, I have a more in-depth video that I will link down below. But generally, you want to start by multiplying your current body weight by 10 or 12, and then this will give you the amount of calories that you will be eating on a daily basis. And this is by no means a perfect formula, but it is definitely a good starting point to start at, to establishing a calorie deficit. Definitely play around with it. Everyone's different. Some people need more calories and have a faster metabolism. Some people need less calories and have a slower metabolism. That's just the way life is. Everyone is different. Genetics plays a huge role in all of these differing factors, and there's no way around it. I'm sorry to say that, but again, that's just the way things are. And of course, even if these numbers do work, definitely adjust as necessary. Maybe a month or two down the line, you find yourself needing to decrease your calories even more just because of the amount of weight that you lost, or you find that you are starting to stall out. But before you just quickly switch to the plateau and blame that for not seeing progress, definitely be honest to yourself and stick with your calorie intake for at least 6 to 4 weeks before making any changes at all. If you are stuck for 3 to 4 weeks straight, like you are not seeing any weight losses, you are not seeing any changes at all, then definitely reevaluate your needs and your calories. But other than that, stick through it, be patient, and be honest with yourself. If you're not seeing results after a week and you think you've plateaued, I'm sorry to say this, but you definitely have not plateaued. So the number one thing throughout this entire process is to be honest with yourself, to see if you are truly making progress and sticking to everything consistently. Even if you are or you aren't, definitely reevaluate your needs or reevaluate your adherence to the diet. And as always, remember, be honest with yourself, because if you lie or trick yourself, the only person that knows it is you, and you're just going to be lying and cheating yourself in the process and making the process much more painful and slow than it needs to be. The more dishonest you are with yourself, the more you blame outside factors that you can't control. But the more you focus on what you can control and can make changes to, you will get massive results as a result of doing that. Alright, number 2 on the pyramid of fat loss is going to be protein intake. And so why is protein intake number 2? Because if you are eating a ton of protein but you're not in calorie deficit, then it doesn't matter how much protein you're eating, you will not be losing fat, as I've said before time and time again. Calorie deficit is the number one thing you need to pay attention to in order to lose weight. Now, second thing, focusing on protein intake. What does this help with? This helps with maintaining or even putting on some muscle mass, and also help keeping you full and help keeping the thermic effect of food high. I've explained this in a few of my other videos. I don't remember exactly how many, but definitely protein intake can help keep you full, help keep the thermic effect, which is the number of calories that your body uses just to digest the food in your body. And so this keeps that high as well. And also for maintaining and building muscle mass. What I recommend for protein intake is to focus on 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. You can just stick to 1, easy to remember, and that should be more than enough for your needs. And then the rest of the calories can come from a combination of carbs and fats. This all depends on personal preference. I think that it's kind of pointless to focus on every single macronutrient and hitting it specifically. This just makes it way too meticulous and hard to follow, because some days you might eat more fats, some days you might eat more carbs, and so it's best to let this fall wherever it falls. Some people also find that they do better eating more carbs. Some people also find that they do better eating more fats. I also have another video covering this, why tracking macros doesn't matter, and go ahead and check that video out as well. But yeah, number 2 on the list was protein intake. And next, level 3 on the golden pyramid of fat loss is lifting weights. And why did I include lifting weights in this pyramid? It's because lifting weights helps you build and maintain muscle while in a deficit. Because it doesn't matter who you are, but I personally think having more muscle can only help you. Having more muscle can increase the amount of strength you have. It can just increase the overall control that you have over your own body. Obviously, the more muscle you have, the more force, the more control you're able to exert over your skeleton and your body in general. And the more muscle you have, the more calories you're able to burn at rest, because muscle is more metabolically active than fat. If you think about it, muscle helps you do this and move around and burn a ton of calories, whereas fat just kind of sits there. It doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of dead weight on your body waiting to be used. And so yeah, for lifting weights, definitely focus on the concept of progressive overload, which is striving to do better and better every session you are in the gym. This can be in the form of lifting more weight, decreasing your rest time, increasing the number of sets and reps that you do. It could come in the form of many things. As long as you're striving to do more than you were doing last session, then you are doing progressive overload. You will get stronger, you will build more muscle. And so now on level 4, we have sleep. And so sleep is definitely highly underrated. It is definitely one of the most overlooked components to building muscle, to losing fat, to just overall general health, because a lot of us don't get enough sleep. And sleep is so important for the recovery process, for reducing stress, for just overall health. Did you know that not sleeping enough can actually shorten your lifespan? It's crazy to believe, I know it, but sleeping more can actually help increase your lifespan. So for sleep, aim for 7 to 9 hours per night. This obviously varies from person to person. I'm not saying that everyone needs exactly 7 to 9 hours per night, but this generally varies. This is what is required for most people. So just go to sleep whenever you feel tired, wake up whenever you wake up. As simple as that. Don't look into the numbers too much. Don't focus too much on hitting specific numbers. If you sleep whenever you sleep, if you get up whenever you get up, that should be the optimal amount that your body needs. Also, the more you sleep, the less you eat. So this is another good thing. The more you sleep, the less you eat. That means the less calories you are going to eat overall in a day, and this helps you stay in a calorie deficit better. And so some of you might be surprised by this, but level 5, the very top of the fat loss pyramid, it's going to be cardio. And before you put all your angry comments in the comment section below, hear me out. Cardio is definitely very important. I highly value cardio. I do a ton of it every day. I make sure to always get my cardio in for optimal heart health, for just burning calories. But it is not as important as people make it out to be. I'm a personal trainer at a gym, and I see everyone, as soon as they check into the gym, they'll just hop onto the cardio machine and do it for hours on end, and it's not as important as people think it is. Especially from the perspective of fat loss, everyone thinks that all you need to do is just hours and hours of cardio, but really focusing on these other aspects that I mentioned before. Again, you want to focus on the most basic and foundational things for fat loss, rather than focusing the things at the top, or just other things that aren't even on this pyramid, and they just don't matter all that much, and people make a huge deal of it, don't get the results you want, and give them ultimately together. And my goal here is to make fitness simple for you. It's to make it sustainable and make it realistic. And so, again, don't get me wrong, cardio is very important for your overall health, but people who do it hours on end and they don't stick to a calorie deficit, they don't eat enough protein, they don't lift weights at all, and they just think cardio is the only solution to their problems, and meanwhile they're eating like crap, they're doing all this other extra useless crap, and that doesn't help them and they don't reach their goals. And so what I'm saying is that if you are one of the few who do everything else perfectly, then definitely adding in some cardio doesn't hurt you. It can definitely help you burn some extra calories, definitely keep you in better shape. But if you're one of those people who are just doing hours and hours of cardio on end, then you definitely need to focus on these other aspects that I mentioned and maybe back off the cardio a little bit. And then maybe you'll start seeing the results that you want, and then you can add more cardio in if you enjoy it. You can add more in just to keep your overall health better. As you're able to increase your work capacity to better your performance, you can add more cardio in along with all these other things that you're nailing. Anyways, that about wraps it up. I hope these tips helped you guys. Hope you guys learned something to apply to your everyday life. Subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one.